How's it going, everybody? Rye here today, and we are back with our Anaheim Ducks franchise mode at the start of Season 3. But before we get started, guys, I want to let you know I am fundraising with the Movember Foundation. It's for men's health, suicide prevention, prostate cancer, testicular cancer, stop men dying too young. So I'm fundraising for that. It is a link in the description. You will see the mustache for the entire month of November, so I hope you like it. If you don't, well, I'm sorry, but it's staying, so... It's an important cause to me, and I hope you guys do at least raise awareness. If you can't give anything, that's fine. Just as long as you raise awareness, that's all I'm asking. So I really do appreciate all the support that you guys give me and the Movember Foundation. Speaking of the support you guys give me, if you're new, make sure to subscribe. We have been having a lot of fun with this series and a lot of good comments recently too, but we'll get to those in just a minute. But can we get this to 15 likes? Yes, I'm dropping the like goal from 20 to 15. You guys have been really killing it. You're so close every time. We got 15 and 18 on the last two episodes, so I'm going to make sure that you guys hit it this time. Can we get it to 15 likes on this episode? But on the last one, I saw some good comments about maybe flipping Max Jones or Sam Steele for that middle pairing defenseman, that third defenseman, really Max Jones or Troy Terry, right? I mean, Perreault should be playing, Gruel should be playing. He's 23. I love Troy Terry. He can probably stay here on, where he is. He's 2 years at 2.6. Emil Bemstrom got one more year on his deal, but Max Jones, I feel like, is the most valuable of these players. He's 25, still got a little bit of time left to grow and develop for whoever does trade for him. And there were some guys that teams want to get rid of. One we looked at in free agency, and that is Erik Cernak here. He's 26, 86. He's not signed, meaning we would have to sign him, but with $9 million in cap space, I'm pretty confident we would get that done. And Troy Terry has a lot of value, actually. I did not realize how much value Troy Terry has. I mean, that's a ton of value for this guy. Now, he's good. He should definitely be playing. I just don't think I have a spot for him on this team. And taking a look here, there's Sam Steele, and then Max Jones really just doesn't seem to be enough to get this deal done. Now, they would be over the maximum salary cap, so we'd have to take on some salary for them and give up a pick in this deal. I think I'd like to maybe give up Troy Terry instead of Max Jones. Troy Terry looks very, very good, and it would probably be just enough to get the deal done and across the line, but we'll take a look at the salary. Anybody on a really overpaid contract that I can take back. A guy like, Leeson can go play in the minors for a season. They would still be over the league maximum salary cap, so I don't know if we're going to be able to get this one done with the Tampa Bay Lightning. As much as I do want to get this deal done, I did give them Braden McNabb. Actually, question is, what is Cernak asking for in free agency now that we're at the start of the season? He's a defensive defenseman, right? But, he's that 86 overall. That's really, really good. He wants 4 years for 1 year at $3 million. It would, I think it would cost us like a second or something just to get his rights under our control. We wouldn't have to give up anything. We wouldn't have to give up Jones or Terry. We can save those guys for later in the season. So 3.125. We would need to give this year's second round pick. What are the actually compensation? I do want to see the offer sheet compensation. So it's going to be this year's second round pick, and I think we do have a couple picks. If not, I can always flip Jones or Terry for probably a second. Taking a look at our draft picks. Yes, we've got our second, 3/3, 3/4, so we got plenty of picks. I'm totally fine offering Cernak 1 year, $3 million to offer sheet him here and get him on the roster. Taking a look here, it doesn't look like he's gonna fit, but we don't know that for a fact. I'm still gonna do it anyway. We're gonna give him 1 year, guys. I'm not gonna give him a too long of a deal, but 1 year to get him under team control, see how he plays, right? He'd be an RFA at the expiry. Actually, I think that's glitched. I think that's broken. I doubt he'll be an RFA afterwards, but he'll be under team control. So I'll be able to give him a new contract like January 1st if he accepts it. So yes, I will go ahead and do that. Cernak hopefully will accept that 1 year at $3.125 million, which is exactly what he wanted. And you know what I might do? I think I might find a trade for Troy Terry. Troy Terry, I think he's got way too much value. A second, a third, and Braun from the Detroit Red Wings. And Mattias Ekholm and a seventh for Troy Terry. Oh, maybe I should have looked at this earlier because Mattias Ekholm here, 85 at 33 years of age, is kind of perfect for this team and exactly what we need. He's got an X-Factor ability, and you know what? if we get him and Chernak, that's a ridiculous, ridiculous second pairing. We have the money to do it, I'm pretty sure. To offer $3 million and then $5 million. We had $9 million, plus we're shedding this 2.6 from Terry. I don't know if I want to, I'm going to do this trade. I think this is a great trade. If Chernak doesn't accept or the Tampa Bay Lightning match somehow, I'm totally fine with this Mattias Ekholm deal. And then getting Ekholm and Chernak would be insane, and we'd be a ridiculously deep team without giving up any real assets. So I'm going to go ahead and actually propose this trade, do this deal with the Nashville Predators. So we have gotten ourselves that third defenseman. Question is, are we going to get a stacked middle pairing coming up? But we can see here, I think if I had to scratch somebody, it would maybe be Lucas Johansson because he doesn't quite fit. Mahura, actually, I think I'd scratch Mahura. Mahura's got a surprising amount of value too. Left defenders, Mattias Ekholm, yes, substitute him in there. That's a -1 with Larson. Would it be a -3? Oh, goodness. So, yeah, he does not exactly fit great. Actually, if we move Lindholm down to the second pairing, although Lindholm's awfully good, he put up 41 points last season. We get a +1 with Larson and Lindholm, and this is where Lindholm actually fits best. I don't want to change the coach because of, everything was working on the forwards, but defensively here, it's a little bit of a mishmash. Not exactly a ton of great options here, although Larson and Gooley, I mean, they're fine. They've got room to grow, if you will, but they really don't, if you ask me. But I do like Ekholm on the first line there. He's got that X factor that's going to help, hopefully, for us there. And then we'll see if Chernak decides to accept the trade or accept the contract or not. So we'll go a couple days here, see if Chernak accepts. Sword and a third for Hedel and a third. I don't think I want to do that deal. No, thank you. Chernak decided to accept the offer as presented, but it's not a done deal yet. May not be able to join. My previous team may decide to match it. Okay, so we've got the whole preseason to see if the Tampa Bay Lightning will take our second. Have decided they are not willing to match your offer of $3.125 for Erik Chernak. Given the small salary at stake, you're required to supply 1 draft pick as compensation, and that's our second. A second-round pick for Chernak when really, guys, they wanted so much more. If we just look at what we could get for flipping Chernak right now, right? It's going to be more than a second. We get Demers, a third, and a fourth from the Leafs. I mean, that's really a second. They just want to give us a player. But if we go to roster moves here, we'll send somebody down, I think. Sending down Mahura. In the system, we'll call up Chernak. I know Stenlund there at an 80 is kind of ridiculous in the minors, but we have a really, really deep team. A lot of good talent here, guys. And I think we will probably end up scratching whoever doesn't fit best. And I think that's Lucas Johansson. I know he's a year younger, but we do need a right-handed defender playing here. So we'll go ahead. He would not fit with Ekholm, but he would fit with Lindholm. And I mean, guys, I don't necessarily mind the fact that Lindholm was down here. I mean, Chernak and Ekholm, I don't like the minus, but putting Ekholm on the top pairing, Chernak fits best on the second pairing. Gooley and Larson on that fourth pairing. Defensive defenseman with a two-way defender. Defensive two-way. Offensive two-way. So the two-way, unfortunately, or the defender and offensive defenseman doesn't work. So I'm still fine with Ekholm, Drysdale, Chernak, Lindholm, Gooley, Larson. Guys, 2 moves, giving up Terry and a second. We get Chernak, Ekholm, and a 7th. I feel like that's an absolute win. We can easily replenish that second by trading some of our guys later in the season, maybe at the deadline. Some of these guys like Stenlund or even Max Jones. But for now, we're going to let it ride. We're going to go through the first month of the season, see how things go. Preseason's always a barometer to see how you'll perform during the regular season. And it looks like we're going to do pretty good. Now that we're at the start of the season, I'm not going to sign the scouts. They can do what they want. I trust them. And we're going to start the season with a solid 4-1 win, a 7-4 win, and 4 straight wins to start the season. Against Calgary, we win as well. Against Tampa, we win. We finally get our first loss after 6 straight wins, but we jump back on the bandwagon with consecutive wins against Pittsburgh and the LA Kings. And guys, those are important, right? The Kings, the Flames, the Jet, well, not the Jets, they're not in our division, but the Kings and the Flames are both big ones. I mean, the Flames were a really good team last year. They've so far have 8 points through 8 games. The Kings have 8 points in 7 games, so they're pretty average teams. Taro Santavoria's goal per game and has 7 assists to go. Holy smokes, 16 points through 9 games. That is ridiculous. This guy is the absolute steal of the century. Second overall, I believe Shane Wright went first overall to the Arizona Coyotes, so we can check out and see if he's currently playing for them. He is. He's an 85 with high elite, 4 points in 7 games, so not doing tremendously there. They do have Solomon Homer, who they took 5th overall as well. They've signed Mika Zibanejad apparently, or did they trade for him? I'm not too sure. That looks like a contract that they signed him to. Yeah, they signed him actually after season 1. Okay. All right. I'm not here to look at the Arizona Coyotes. We're going to take a look at the Ducks, though, as Raquel, Zegras, and Santavuri are all way above point per game. Sam Steele hanging on to him looks like a pretty decent decision with Comtois and Krebs all doing really well. Jamie Drysdale with a plus 12. Love to see that. Vesalainen with 5 points there. I think Comtois is on the 3rd line center, so our 3rd line center just happens to do well every year. Getzlaf with 4 points on the 4th line is fine with me. Dylan Strome. Oh my God, guys, there's just so much talent right now. McTavish plus 4 with 4 points. Love to see that. And defensive-wise, Ekholm and Drysdale is a great pairing. Chernak and Lindholm is a good pairing. And then Goulian Larsson's a fine pairing. And then in goal, I mean, Gibson's not even playing his best hockey. His save percentage is .914, which is good, and goal against average is also good, but that's not the best that he can play, you know? Taking a look at the lines just to double check I've got it right. Yeah, it's Krebs, Strome, Vesalainen, and then Comtois, Steele, and McTavish. So the middle 6 is really, I mean, guys, everything's just good. I can't really say anything else. Everything is going swimmingly right now. Now, we're not even 10 games into the season, but this is a great start. Bank these points now, and we will get up to the end of November here. And I think we'll get up to January 1st and then decide on some contract extensions. We'll get up to the 41st game so we can double it. A shootout win there, a win against Colorado. We lose to the Sharks, but we bounce back with a win against the Oilers, a win against the Blues, beating all the Western Conference opponents, which is nice. Destroyed the Columbus Blue Jackets. And I want to double check Axel Anderson here. He's 23. He's somebody that could come up someday. Pinch balanced, which is going to fit us just fine up in the NHL. He's got great defensive category. Needs to work on his puck skills. He's got an awful shot. Can't hit the net with a slap shot to save his life. But it's not one that I want to give away for a 3rd and a 6th. It's just not a deal I'm interested in. But betting in a 3rd for 2 thirds, no thank you. I don't need any more defensemen. That's for darn sure. 2 straight losses, and I think that's the first time this season we have lost consecutive games. And we've only lost 5 times, right? We lost 1 there, and then we lost 1 there. We lost 1 here, and then this is the first time. So in 2 months, we've lost back-to-back games once, and it was the longest losing streak of 2 games. And the Golden Knights are right on our tail. Ricard Raquel with 3 goals, but the dude just dishes the puck. Oh my goodness. All right, 34 points puts us number 1 in the NHL. And only 22 games played. Vegas is really on our heels, and we have not played them yet, I don't think. So that's a team these 2 games are massive right here. We got to get through these games, see how we do. The Kings are currently on the cusp of a playoff spot. The Kraken are in a playoff spot, but the Oilers too, a team that I think we beat in overtime. We've only played them once so far. We will play them 4 times, I believe. And these 2 games against the Golden Knights are going to be massive, though. Calgary here as well. They are in a wild card spot, so it's a really strong Pacific Division. The Canucks are just kind of chilling there at the bottom. There's another Edmonton game, so we got a lot of important games against some really good divisional opponents this month that we will just have to get up to and just see here. So, December 1st, RFAs cannot play now, but we 1-0 shutout victory against the Kings. That's pretty big. And we lose 2 in a row, but we stop it at 2 in a row. The longest losing streak is still 2 for your Anaheim Ducks, and that is positive. And we snap the losing streak there. We lose to Vegas, which hurts. Can we bounce back? Denisenko is actually a pretty good player. They haven't signed him, but I can't take on too many more of these contracts. We do beat them in a shootout, and we do start to cool off a bit, as you guys can see here. In the last 2 weeks, we were, 3-4? So 3-4 here puts us in 3rd place in the division. Okay, we have 2 games in hand on the Golden Knights, but they picked up 3 out of 4 points against us. We got to go another 5 games here to just really see how things are going to shake out. We'll decide what to do with Chernak here in a minute, but like I said, we played 36 games, so we need to play 5 more. We'll get up to this Coyotes game. That should be a fun one, too. Kravtsov for Sword, no thank you. Beat Philly, beat Toronto, get a point there against the Chicago Blackhawks. Okay, so we do bounce back in January. going 4-0-1 in the first 5 games here. So that is beautiful. And it's going to put us 3 points behind the Golden Knights with a game in hand. So if we win that game in hand, we will end up with 61 points, 1 point behind Vegas. And they're killing it, right? Vegas is just on a ridiculous pace. What does the team stats say? 73.8% point percentage. I don't like how entire league is in the middle. EA, please. Point percentage. There's only 2 teams above 67%. Only 2 teams in the NHL are getting 2/3 of the points. That's us and the Vegas Golden Knights. And that sucks because they're in our division. And you guys can see, we're both insane teams. Goals for per game. We lead the league by 0.01, basically, difference. And then goals against per game. Vegas is ridiculous. They're in second. And we're down here, and I think that's 7th. So we're top 10 there. Power play percentage at 18.6 is actually another top 10 there. Penalty kill percentage at 86% is top 10 here as well. Vegas is obviously killing it. I don't actually think we're top 10. We're probably top half of the league here, so it could be a little bit better, but really I'm not too concerned about it. Looking at the points, though, Rickard Rakell's on pace for 98. Zegras on pace for 84, and Santavori on pace for 82, but another 40-goal season he's on pace for. Shooting 14%, which is right in line with what he shot last year. So we'll see. We'll see if he can hit that 50-goal mark yet again. He's getting more points and more assists, so maybe because the rest of the guys on his line are stepping up more, like Zegras is blossoming into a real superstar, and Rickard Rakell is just playing the way he always does. Maybe Zegras is taking some of his goals. He's shooting a bit better this season, so you guys can see up about 2%, almost tied his goal tally from last year already. Needs 5 more goals. He's on pace for 32. On pace is one thing. Will he actually hit it is another. But taking a look at the forwards, it does drop off quite a bit forward-wise, but I think that's just because that middle 6 is so good that there's no line in that middle 6 that is dominating, right? We got Strome, who's on pace for 56, Vesalainen on pace for 48, Getzlaf on the 4th line on pace for 46, Steele on pace for 46, Krebs on pace for 44 and is a plus, so it's looking like the 3rd line is now a minus. Perreault is a minus 15, McTavish is a minus 3, so he really cooled off. He was point per game to start, and then Gruel was a minus 5 there as well. We'll see if the defensemen are separating themselves, and it really seems like Gulli and Larson just can't keep up, but to be honest, I wouldn't expect that. Hampus Lindholm, though, with 27 points on the 2nd pairing, and he's playing with Chernak, the defensive defenseman, so he's allowed to flex his offensive prowess, right? He's got that 89 passing, 88 puck control, 86 offensive awareness. I mean, he's no slouch defensively either. Jamie Drysdale here is doing quite well. I think I need to give him first-line power play time. Gibson here is having a great season. Dostal's rookie season, not going as well as you would hope with a 3.81 goal against average, but Gibson is playing well. So I can be rest assured that, come playoff time, we're not going to miss the playoffs, guys. We're one of the best teams in the NHL as far as point percentage. Come playoff time, I believe in John Gibson. But let's take a look at the special teams here. Drysdale's playing with Santavori, Strome, Zegras, and Rakell. Is there anybody that I'd like to get on that top line? Maybe Vesalainen being the sniper he is. Could be somebody to get up there, and he's not actually playing anywhere. Comtois, Getzlaf, Steele, Lindholm, Perreault. So I like the fact that Perreault fits really well. But, I'm not going to put him up here just because Santavori doesn't quite fit. I mean, everybody else fits really well. We just need that sniper up here on this line. So I think I might swap him with Strome. And then Strome can play here. And I think I might take Getzlaf off the power play just to get Vesalainen some ice time here. Comtois, Krebs. So Vesalainen, will throw him on that first power play. It's Comtois, Steele. I think I want Krebs probably over Sam Steele, maybe over Perreault. I mean, Perreault is going to get that much needed ice time. It's all about ice time. He's going to get a beneficial, benefit from playing on that power play. But really, Vesalainen on the penalty kill is not where I want him. Lindholm with Chernak on the first. Drysdale and Gulli is not bad. We could put Ekholm here. Gets a +1 there if we do that. So we will do that. Getzlaf, Gruel, Steele, and not Vesalainen, but probably Comtois, because he's a power forward there. Change the current lines. yeah, I don't want him playing penalty kill time. I don't want him tired after playing the penalty kill. He's playing a lot of special teams, which is good, but, I'm actually taking a look at my special teams, which I always forget to do. A sniper here for the first line would probably be a bit better. You can see here, does anybody fit the first line better than Santivore? I mean, Krebs does, right? But it would be +2/+2, so I'm not going to bother with that. Come to us, deal McTavish. McTavish, 1045 on ice is good. It's fine, but, it's not going to be too tremendously spectacular. But having Total Eclipse up here maybe someday would play with on the second line, maybe on the first line. I'm not too sure. But now what I want to do is take a look at our contract situation, the expiring contracts and who I need to bring back. All expiring contracts are Chernak, Getzlaf, Jones, Bemstrom, Gooley, Lucas Johansson, and Stenlund. Sword is an 80, and I haven't even given him a contract yet. He's still playing in the WHL and the CHL for Spokane. 29 points in 36 games played for a defenseman. He's already listed as a top 6 defenseman, so I don't know if I need to bring back Chernak. He wants 4 years at 5.5. Oh my goodness. Maybe it's one of those I don't bring back Gooley. 3.5 million. What does he want? He's going to want 2.6, so he wants less. But I'd like to give that ice time to Sword. I really would. Sword is going to be an NHL caliber defenseman start of next season. Lucas Johansson is probably going to want a little bit less than Brendan Gooley. Oh yeah, he wants way less than Brendan Gooley. So he's not playing poorly at all. He's not playing in the NHL, which probably want to play him because if I don't plan on bringing back Gooley, I can probably send Gooley away. At the deadline, maybe for those picks. Chernak I'll probably bring back. Like, let's be honest, it's that top 4 is insane. It's that bottom pairing of probably Sword, Johansson. Guys, it's an embarrassment of riches right now. I mean, obviously, Drysdale, Lindholm, Ekholm all signed. Larson signed for 4.8. I was hoping he would grow more, but that's not a fantastic contract. He can play with Lucas Johansson, or he can play with Sword, or he could just not play. We could end up moving on from him. I really don't know what to do there. Goaltending-wise, Gibson is signed. Same thing with Dostal, so we don't have to worry about that. Expiring forwards include Getzlaf, Jones, who don't want to come back. Bemstrom does. He's totally fine to come back for $2 million. That's a little bit much, so we can move on from him. I'm going to keep Getzlaf and Jones just because they're too good. But I could, and they're playing for us. Well, Jones is not. I could move on from Jones, Bemstrom, Stenlund. I mean, there's a lot of guys down here. Hanu Järvinen might be worthwhile to keep in the AHL next season. So there's a lot to do here. A lot of interesting things that I'm not sure where I want to go. I mean, it's kind of a good problem to have, if you will, simply because we just have so many good players. Bemstrom's statistical growth is through the roof. Same thing with Getzlaf, statistical growth. Ricard Raquel's statistical growth. Trevor Zegras has some natural growth. You can see 2 there in faceoffs. He was at 81. Good to see that. Brendan Gooley's statistical growth is actually decreasing his overall, so he's better than expected. Okay. He's better than he is. Same thing with Sam Steele. Sam Steele's growing nicely, and he would be a really great middle 6 forward, but it's just not looking great. Santivore's got that statistical growth for his defense and his offensive awareness, which is fine, but I'm not seeing much natural growth out of Taro Santivore, which is a bit concerning considering the fact that he's playing so well. Peyton Krebs is now an X Factor? Wait, did I miss the fact that Peyton Krebs grew into an X Factor? In the system, we'll take a look here in a second. But guys like Braden Tracy, who are medium top 6, are growing really stupendously. I mean, I'm running out of adjectives to talk about these growth, but I mean, these guys are growing well. We've got guys that can fit in everywhere, and I don't know what to do. All I know is that I think Peyton Krebs is an X Factor now, ladies and gentlemen. It says he grew to 1, but it doesn't say it in the line. I don't know. I thought he was an X Factor potentially, but he's not an X Factor just yet. Mason McTavish is an X Factor, but right now I'm not too worried about it. And we got Ekholm. How is Ekholm doing? He's got that quick pick superstar ability, which is his main highlighted one. You guys can see he's giving the puck away a lot more than he takes it away, which is not what you want to see. Jamie Drysdale. Better ratio for Drysdale. Chernak, not a great ratio for Chernak. Lindholm is okay. Gooley is actually doing pretty well. Jacob Larson is doing okay. So one of those, maybe bench Larson for the scratch Lucas Johansson. Yes, we'll just slot him in there right now, and we'll see how we do down there, because we do need to shake it up at the bottom. But I'm not going to touch it anymore. You guys let me know what I should be doing with my lines and my trades, and maybe we don't trade anybody till the draft, but I could trade some of the players that aren't playing right now. Maybe Jacob Larson on his 4.6. We'll see what we could potentially get for him. That's a lot of money we could end up saving. We have 4.6 right now, or about 4 million, and he's got an okay amount of value, right? We could get Teddy Bluger, a third and a fourth. Maybe I could stretch it to a second. We could get Hoffman, a third and Demers, Brody, and a sixth, right? So we can get a third round pick for Larson and get that 4-year at 4.8 million off the books, because we don't really need it. That's an option. And then obviously trading away Max Jones is another option there. But guys, that is all the time I have for this one. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see some more, and I will see you guys in the next one.
This a free for all before we fall. This a free for all before we fall.